Hello, hi. I'm back with the topic of scarcity. Okay, in this book there is a three toxic myth of scarcity, and I want to discuss it with you about a three scarcity myth that we have been listening, we have been believing in, that we have been programmed to. Okay, so this is the three myth of a scarcity. Are you ready to listen? Okay, the first myth, number one, is there's not enough. Okay, so this is the things that we always often hear, and this is the sentence that I will hear many times a day when I was growing up, and my parents keep telling me, there's not enough. You have to share. There's not enough money. There's not enough clothes. There's not enough this, and there's not enough that. So I have been ingrained and programmed that scarcity of not enough in my unconscious. So what I did, I need to remove it, I need to release it in a way I can, and then install a new belief system of abundance. There is more than enough. Yeah, so let's read the first paragraph. The first prevailing myth of scarcity is that there's not enough. There's not enough to go around. Everyone can make it. Somebody's going to be left out. There are way too many people. There's not enough food. There's not enough water. There's not enough air. There's not enough time. There's not enough money. There's not enough become the reason we do not work that brings us down, or the reason we do things to each other that we are not proud of. There's not enough generates of fear that drives us to make sure that we are not the person, or our loved ones are not the people who get crushed, marginalized, or left out. Okay, so this is the first myth, the myth of there's not enough. Okay, the second myth is the more is better. So usually the more is better is programmed for the commercial. So the commercial wants us to have more than what we need. So that's why the toxic myth number two is the more is better. The second toxic myth is that more is better. More of anything is better than what we have. It's the logical response if you fear there's not enough. But more is better drives a competitive culture of accumulation, acquisition, and greed that only heightens fears and quickens the pace of the race. And none of it makes life more valuable. In truth, the rush for more distances us from experiencing the deeper value of what we acquire or already have. We have eat too fast or too much. When we eat too fast or too much, we cannot savor any single bite of food. When we are focused constantly on the next thing, the next dress, the next car, the next job, the next vacation, the next home improvement, we hardly experience the gifts of what we have now. In our relationship with money, more is better. Distracts us from living more mindful and richly with what we have. More is better is a chase with no end and a race without winners. It's like a hamster wheel that we hope onto, get going, and then forget how to stop. Eventually, the chase for more becomes an addictive exercise, and as with any addiction, it's almost impossible to stop the process when you're in its grip. But no matter how far you go, or how fast, or how many other people you pass up, you can't win. In the mindset of scarcity, even too much is not enough. Okay, that is the myth number two. Now I skip to the myth number three. The myth number three is that just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Sound like just the way it is. Okay, the third toxic myth is that that's just the way it is, and there's no way out. There's not enough to go around. More is definitely better, and the people who have more are always people who are other than us. it is not fair, but we better play the game because that's just the way it is, and it's a hopeless and unequal, unfair world where you can never get out of this trap. That's just the way it is. It's just another myth. But it's probably the one with the most grit because you can always make a case for it. When something has always been a certain way and tradition, assumptions or habits make it resistant to change, then it seems logical, just commonsensical. That the way it is the way it will stay. This is when and where the blindness, the numbness, the trance, and underneath it all, the resignation of scarcity sets in. Resignation makes us feel hopeless, helpless, and cynical. Resignation also keeps us in line, even at the end of the line, where a lack of money becomes an excuse for holding back from commitment and contributing what we do have, time, energy, and creativity to making a difference. Resignation keeps us from questioning how much we'll compromise ourselves or exploit others for the money available to us in a job or career, a personal relationship, or a business opportunity. Yeah. Okay, that's the myth number 3. How should I discuss this myth number 3 example in my life? Okay, basically that's just the way it is in actual reality world. Is we talk about fairness, we talk about unfairness, that the world is unfair, the world is fair, depending on who say it. Okay, in this myth, I would say that usually when we feel that the world, when we have a perception that the world is unfair, we tend to give up. We don't want to find a solution. How can the world be fair to me? Instead, like, the world has been unfair, and just surrender, live as it is, and don't want to have how do I say, like change of mindset that only I can make a difference. If I make a difference, the world will be different for me. Instead of like the world is unfair, I should say that the world is unfair for those who did nothing, but the world will be fair to those who make some things happen for themselves. So this myth telling me that you need to know where you want to go, what you want to be, and what you want to get, and then stop complaining and stop telling the whole world that they are unfair. The world is here first before you, so the world has never been unfair. Okay, it's just that the way you perceive things, that the world is unfair based on what you see. Okay, that is my take for the myth number 3 about the world is unfair.